Oh guys, what is up? It's Teach here, coming at you again with another video over on Ark Survival Ascended, and I wanted to show you something really cool. So the Valentine's Day update has just released today, and yes, there's a obvious coal change. Now you can see all these coal in the water right now. They have hearts over their head, and you can actually use a special fishing rod in order to get some really awesome loot. And it's a really simple process. I'm gonna go ahead and start the process, but I'm gonna kind of explain as we're going. Now all you need is to have a chair, the fishing rod, which can be crafted inside of the smithy, and then once you have that, you're also going to need access to some hearts. Now those hearts can be gathered from killing the holiday bugs, but that is it. And then you're going to sit in the chair like I am right now, and you're going to wait for a coal to bite. Now, if you don't mind, smack that like button, leave a comment below for the algorithm, and then consider subbing to the channel. So anyways, there's a few things that you need to know about this thing. So basically there's actually a streak bonus. Now I know that sounds weird, but the more coal you sit down and gather, the better off you are. And you're also going to get some really nice loot, because this is how you're going to be able to get access to the chibis. This is how you're going to get access to some of the box of chocolates. And then you can also get some of the other rewards in general from this. But I'll go ahead and show you as we kind of go through this loot process here. But this is a 100, like there's nothing special. So X, Q, S, S, C, Q, Z, S. It's a big one. So that's 22 raw prime, and we'll go ahead and see that right there. So the prime we don't care about, but there we go. That's what we want, that primitive love evolved dino candy. And then you'll probably notice that we also got a chibi out of it. We got the another cool chibi. So that's how you get chibis in this event. And then what I want you to notice, the quality was 6.7, but if you look in the bottom right, my streak is 1 out of 5. So you actually get better loot if you can do 5 in a row. Now the size was 0.77. Now what you're going to notice is some things change as we catch our next fish. What's going to be kind of cool, as long as you have this thing equipped, right? This fishing rod, as long as this thing is equipped, you are good to go. As soon as it's not equipped, essentially what happens is a countdown timer starts. Now there's a way to cheese the system, but you know, we don't need to go into that because that's kind of crazy, but it is what it is. So anyways, I'm just going to sit here, and then we're going to go through the 5 of these. Now the loot gets better the longer you sit in the chair. I know that sounds weird, so this could turn out to be a little bit of a longer video, and I'll try and skip through some of it. A, C, Q, S, E, Q, Z, Z. I didn't realize there's gonna be another Z. So that was a saber-tooth salmon. Okay, that's interesting. So that streak actually continued. I didn't catch a holiday fish, which is unfortunate. So you can catch anything, as you see right there, but that's a 0.246. So that's going to increase my size overall to 1.38 and a streak of 2 out of 5. We have to hit the 5. Now, I'll show you why in a second here. I didn't realize you could actually catch non-heart coals with the heart thing, but it seems like it's like honey. So it's a 45-second cooldown timer, and once that cooldown timer has hit with that honey, the fish are going to bite no matter what. Now, it does seem that it does combine them together. So in the bottom right, you'll see we had the 0.77 or whatever it was, or whatever it was, and then you got the size bonus by adding them together. We're trying to get that streak as high as we can go. So we're waiting for number 3 right now. So some things that I've seen before is you can get some cool loot. Oh, X. Make sure I actually catch all these fish. C, S, A, E, W, X, Q, E, Z. All right, so there we go. So there is 2 more candy. You can see, where was it? There we go. So there's some more candy there. I'm going to drop this meat because I don't actually care about it. But you can see we've got a couple of those primitive evolved candies. We've got a box of chocolates. We've got a ton of stuff ready to fish with. And then that quality was 8.87. We're at a 3 out of 5 streak with a 2.39 size multiplier. So some really cool stuff happens, and I'll show you that in a second here. But again, so it's about 45 seconds that you have to wait, because it counts as like a honey multiplier. And once we actually get this creature reeled in, we'll be 1 away from that 5 out of 5 streak. So pretty neat, but it's a really cool mechanic that they added into this event. That was a really weird look. This dude just like straight up looked into the camera. Okay, Megaloceros. I mean, what's up, dude? I guess, you know. some of the great spots you can fish, I'll show you kind of like between at the end of this video, because you want to make sure you actually continue your streak. But the spots you can fish are around Redwoods. Has a bunch of really popular spots like I'm in right now, where you've got like a little pool of water that a bunch of coal will spawn in, or just fish in general. I like the just pretty much A, C, D. Wow, D was hard for that one. E, C, E, C, E. There we go. All right, so there's another chibi, 2 more box of chocolates, and we are at a quality of 8.0, and that was a 0.9. So that's 4 out of 5 with a 3.3 size multiplier. And we're waiting for the next one right now. This one will give us our 5 out of 5 multiplier, which is what we're waiting for. And we got another 45 seconds. But anyways, yeah, so the event itself is pretty cool. There's a bunch of different stuff, but fishing is definitely one of my favorite things to do in Ark, just because you sit down, it's not crazy, you're not out there grinding, you actually have to pay attention. It's like a mini game inside of the game. Well, at least it is for me. I really hope for Ark 2 they actually do something a little bit different, you know, make it some sort of actual challenge. But, you know, I can't complain too much because it is what it is. We should be right around that time where the next fish is gonna bite as well. Come on now. Come on now. Little bit longer, please. But anyways, yeah, you can find a bunch of these little ponds like I'm in around the Redwoods Forest. And even in the Redwoods Forest, there's quite a few small ponds that have coal in them. You will have to clean the area of things that can destroy you, and that's going to be the biggest danger for you. But outside of that, it's pretty safe. Like there might be 1 or 2 carnos, but that's about the worst thing you're going to have to face. And I'm just sitting here waiting. It should be right around this time I get the final fish, and it's just gonna not happen. Really? Really? We're just gonna sit here, wait, and nothing. There it is. Q, Z, S, D, W, C, Q, A. There we go. So there's a 5 out of 5 streak. It's 3.99. And then we can continue to get our increased loot with that. Now, one thing I want to mention to you is if I click right, it's going to keep that streak, and you can look in your inventory and see what you actually got out of that. But you can see that that one, I think that was non-coal, which is interesting. One thing you can do, by the way, and this is a little cheat code kind of, if you go into K mode, you can actually zoom out and find the actual bait. And then when you see something get close, you can go out of K mode by hitting K, and you can kind of watch the fish that are nearby, because the fish are always going to aggro automatically to it. And they'll kind of like sprint towards your bait. But it's one way that you can kind of like watch with a little preemptive strike instead of just like sitting above the screen. And again, in order to get the holiday fish, you have to have that, the holiday hearts going above them. And I'm waiting for this streak 5 out of 5 to exist so I can actually show you, because it's a big multiplier you get out of this. Anything? No? We're gonna just sit here and wait? Cool. But yeah, so if you're waiting for this kind of style, there we go. So X, Z, W, Q, S, C, W, E, filled in. And then, so it'll keep that bonus on you. And then if you go into your inventory, you'll notice, oh my God, look at all the meat that I just got. Ugh, I don't want that much prime meat. So we got a journeyman wooden club out of that. Not the greatest thing, but it actually gives us some pretty good loot overall. So there's 4 primitive love evolved dino candies. And then just in general, we got 3 boxes of chocolates. And this is just from doing stuff where you can just sit and fish, by the way. So that multiplier kind of gives you something towards the end, and the more fish that you can compile, you're going to get an item that's overall good at the end of it. So I guess that's what I was trying to show you. But you can start that streak over just by going back into the fishing mode. But it's kind of a cool mini game that they introduced where you have access to that, and you can build up that 5 streak, and that 5th one is going to give you the kind of improved rate, if you want to think of it that way. And that's how you actually get that pretty cool bonus. But I'll show you this is the last one I'll show you, because you can kind of just build this streak up again. And I'm waiting for it, you know, eventually I'll catch it. But yeah, so it's a cool mini game. You should definitely check it out. It's something that I enjoy fishing in Ark. It's one of the things that I almost always do, because a lot of people don't realize this. But if you have a good fishing pole inside of Ark, like a 5X, like a Ascendant level fishing rod with 500% damage, if you want to think of it that way, you can get some absolutely bonkers above level cap items. They will nerf down as soon as you actually make the blueprint, but it's a really powerful way to get some good loot inside of this game, just because it is such a it used to be a thing. I don't know if anyone was playing an original Ark. It's how people were multiplying their actual loot multipliers. They would quite literally catch a fish, right? Get the multiplier, use that stuff to then get the next higher fish. And people were just like having fishing farms when Ark first came out. That was a long time ago, by the way, like early 2015. So they actually had to nerf and put an item cap on things because fishing became so broken. That's why fishing now is kind of nerfed, but if you get a good Ascendant rod or something like that, it's one of the best ways to get some really, really good loot in Ark. Now, I was hoping that at this point I would have a fish, but you know, I'm just gonna sit here and wait because yeah, it's there. I mean, we're waiting. Maybe there's got to be something looking for it. Come on, y'all. I feel like it's gotta be here, right? It's gotta be. It's gotta be. Come on. Fishy. No fishies? How is there no fishies? I know for a fact that there's probably a fish that got stuck on something that was aggro to it. Maybe. I don't think that's the fish. Am I gonna sit here and stare at this awkwardly? It's kind of hilarious. It's a cool picture though. Like under the water like that. Love Evolved picture. Oh, there it is. Okay. C, Z, E, Q, Z, A, D. There we go. And you can see my streak is now 1 out of 5, but because that wasn't a heart fish, I'm not going to get the heart bonus. But you combine those sizes together, which is pretty freaking cool, right? So how you ruin your streak, by the way, is if you stand up, you will be able to notice in the top of your screen, it's going to say, hey, you need to go back to your fishing area again. Otherwise, it's going to ruin your streak. And you can go to a new area pretty quickly. See, my streak is 1 out of 5. But it will preserve that for a little bit. And then there it is right there. Fishing streak broken. It's been too long since you last fished. You don't have much time, but you can quickly move, transfer, sit down, and kind of go from that way. So anyways, you can get some pretty good loot from fishing, and hopefully this video helps you out. But other than that, teach.